It's that time of the week again where we get to talk about the brand new VR games that came out this week, the new VR games coming out next week, and of course some of that juicy VR gaming news. But before we dive into that, I want to thank today's channel sponsor, VRider SBK. VRider is one of the best superbike racing games I've ever played in Quest. It is phenomenal. You have 5 different superbikes to race from, 12 official WSBK circuits to be able to race on. There's also a ton of comfort options to make sure that you feel great in this game. There is single player and even multiplayer where you can play between 2 and 8 people racing head to head in a PvP match, which feels freaking amazing. Not only that, this game looks absolutely stunning on the Quest, and you can pick it up and play it for yourself as of right now, today on the Quest store. So go to the link in the description or the pinned comment and pick this up for yourself. Massive thank you to them for sponsoring today's video. And now let's dive into the brand new games that came out this week. New games this week. Kicking it all off, we have Silent Slayer Vault of the Vampire. This finally dropped this week, and honestly, this is a freaking blast of a game. Very much a typical Shell Games game where you're going to get in there, you can have an absolute blast, and it really lends itself to being a great party game or something that you can put someone in the headset to experience for a first time user, as there's no artificial locomotion in this game, and well, it's just fun and easy for anyone to enjoy. Now, it does have some fun little jump scares, so if you're solving the puzzles and you mess up at all, then yes, you're going to absolutely get jump scared out of your mind in a very Five Nights at Freddy's-esque style jump scare. Other than that though, this game is top notch. It looks friggin' phenomenal on the Quest, and I really love the attention to detail of all the different vampires. I actually really hope that they bring out some DLC for this game in the future, because I feel like it could lend itself to sort of drop another 5 vampires or something like that in the future. Next up, we have Journey to Foundation dropping on PCVR today. Of course, I haven't tried this for myself yet, so I'll be able to talk about this next week, but for now, I'm looking forward to this coming out on PCVR, as I think it's going to do it justice, having this just, well, look at its best. If you're unfamiliar with this game, it is based on a series of books, and in this story, you're going to be going through a very story-driven story. You're going to be able to go speak to a bunch of people, use mind-warping powers, all sorts of fun things, a little bit of shootouts here and there as well. It's actually a really cool game, so if you're interested in checking this out, or you're a big fan of the series of books, then this is going to lend itself to you perfectly, so make sure you check this one out as of today on PCVR. VR game news. Well, it's been one hell of a week for VR gaming news this week, and I think we can kick it off by talking about the fact that PSVR 2 is now going to be able to be used for PCVR. They have finally released how this is going to work, and it's going to be coming out just later this year, where you're going to be able to essentially just plug a box into your PC and then of course use your PSVR 2 via that. The only thing that's a downside to this is the fact that, well, they have cut ties with obviously a lot of things that just aren't integrated into PCVR games, so there'll be no adaptive triggers because again, they're not mapped into games. There'll be no eye tracking. That kind of sucks. I kind of wish that that was part of the feature. At least you could use it in things like VR chat and stuff then. There's also no eye tracked foveated rendering, but there is dynamic foveated rendering, which is slightly different in the way that it works. So yeah, I mean, you're kind of cutting ties with a lot of the good things that make a PSVR 2 a PSVR 2, but understandably, those things need to be integrated into games themselves to make them useful. So maybe they'll release like the APK for it and allow developers to add it to their games. But is there going to be that higher demand for it? I don't know. I think most people going into PCVR are probably using a Quest at this point or a PC VR headset. So I don't really know. Let me know in the comments down below how many of you are excited for this and how many of you are just like, well, I'll just use my Quest. So I'm intrigued to sort of know the answer from you guys. Next up, we got a proper trailer for Raven. I don't know how to say this word. I'm probably just silly. You can correct me phonetically in the comments down below. Anyway, we finally got a date for this coming. This is going to be dropping on the 25th of this month. This is the brand new puzzle game that comes from sort of like Myst developers and all of that stuff. And of course, you know, if you're into your puzzlers, then this is going to be one for you. Not only that, it looks flipping gorgeous. It's going to be coming to the Quest platform and PCVR. Like I said, June 25th, so keep your eyes peeled for this one. Next up, I finally got to take off the restraints and talk about Behemoth VR. Honestly, I've been waiting so long, as you all know, to be able to talk about this, and finally I have a full video on the channel. I break down everything you could possibly want to know about this, so make sure you check out that video. I'll have it pop up somewhere on screen for you. Of course, that game is just insanely good. I will just say in this video, like top tier, this is a 10 out of 10 game that I've experienced so far. I personally played it on the PSVR 2, and then I had sort of like PCVR footage to be able to show you as well, so you can see those two platforms. Unfortunately, haven't seen it on the Quest yet, but I hope to see it in the Quest in the future so that I can give you an honest opinion on that as well. But if you're interested in learning more, video talking about it all. Next up in a surprise announcement, we got Hitman 3 VR Reloaded announced to be coming to the Quest platform, but this is going to be coming with a bit of a twist. So if any of you are familiar with the Hitman franchise being in virtual reality, we've had it on like PCVR and we've had it on PSVR 1, I believe, back in the day. And yeah, well, it was never a very good port. Although it did the job, it was very, very basic when it came to VR implement and just didn't really do what I wanted it to be. But now they're building it from the ground up to be a Quest exclusive. The only difference is we're going to have a very different stylistic look to this game. It's going to be floating hands, it's going to be cell shaded, which I think is a really interesting choice for a franchise that's known to be looking so good. But I don't know, I'm very intrigued by this, and honestly, if it's from the ground up built for VR, then I think this could be something very special. So fingers crossed this is going to deliver. We haven't seen a busting amount of gameplay as of yet. It's only really like a very, very short snippet where they change from CG into what the game actually looks like. So I'm intrigued to learn a little bit more about this, and I'm hoping that maybe we'll learn more maybe tonight at the showcase. Pistol Whip Void Slayer is a brand new update that they've just dropped in the game, and it's for free. So you get 3 new songs that you can jump into there and literally kick some butt in true Pistol Whip fashion, except for with the sword this time round. Honestly, this is so nice of them to drop in like a free song pack. They also just said that they wanted to do it as a gratitude for everyone supporting their game and making it an evergreen game. So props to Cloudhead Games for doing this, and honestly, this is a really cool looking pack. I can't wait to dive into it over the weekend myself. So if you own this game, it gives you something to do for free over the weekend. Next up, we have another announcement of Miracle Pool making its way to the main Quest store. Now this is an MR focused game where you'll be able to put like a full-size billiards table in your room, and then you can play like trick shots. You can just play standard sort of billiards or pool. And one of the things that makes this game really cool is they've worked incredibly hard to make the physics in this game like 1-for-1 accurate to real world, so it should be like the best example you can possibly have of playing this game virtually at the end of the day. It looks really cool. I'm interested to try this out. I'm actually a really big fan of playing pool myself, so being able to jump into this and experience it, I think it's going to be top notch. Can't wait to try this one out. And last but not least, we have the MetaQuest showcase going on tonight. I will be covering this in its own little video probably over the weekend. I'm pretty damn excited about this because I have me a feeling we're going to get some surprise announcements of some other games. Now we've had already Batman, which we're going to see more footage of tonight. We've had already things like, of course, Alien Isolation, which we saw some footage of at the PlayStation showcase. We've now had things like Hitman we've got speaking about, but it still leaves positions for some more games, and I've heard in the grapevine that there might be a couple more coming our way, so keep your eyes peeled on that showcase tonight because I'm very excited about it. And if you cannot attend it, don't worry, like I say, I'm going to do a summarized video anyway, just letting you know what the good bits are, opposed to having to watch like an hour of probably just talking. Coming up next week, kicking it off, we have Black Forge, a smithing adventure. This is going to be making its way from Fast Travel Games and genuinely looks like a really fun, whimsical adventure. If you're looking for something a bit more chill and relaxed, well, then go and smith yourself some swords, because that's kind of what this game is about. It's very much like a very chilled looking game. You're going to be just getting some missions, i.e. making these weapons. I think you can infuse them with like some cool stuff as well. So it looks like a really fun game if you're looking for something just laid back, relaxed, not too in your face and crazy, and I'm kind of down for that every now and then when it comes to VR games. So for me, I'm actually pretty intrigued by this one. Let me know what you think of it in the comments down below. Will you be picking up, or is it a bit of a leave it? And last but not least, we have Taskmaster making its way to the Quest platform. Finally, I feel like I've been talking about this flipping game for ages now, but it's finally releasing. And well, yeah, any of you Taskmaster fans out there are going to be able to jump into this and experience it for yourselves in a grand old virtual reality. If you're unaware of what this game is, it's based on a British comedy TV show where you go around doing a bunch of really odd and random tasks. So, well, it lends itself, I guess, to VR in 2016, but here we are in 2024 playing games like this now. I mean, I don't know if this one's going to be for me personally, but I'll definitely let you know whether it's good or bad next week. Anyway, that's pretty much going to do it for this video. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, please smash like, subscribe, and all that good stuff if you enjoyed this video. It really does genuinely help the videos out a massive amount. And of course, let me know in the comments down below what you're going to be playing this weekend. Is it anything that I've talked about on this list, or is it something entirely different that you're finally getting around to playing? Let me know, because it sometimes helps me find what I'm going to be playing over the weekend too. Other than that, take care, have good fun over the weekend, and I'll see you next week. Peace out. Bye.